You might imagine the Wild West as a tapestry woven with grand adventures, a place where freedom roared like a prairie wind, where frontiersmen carved destinies from the raw, untamed earth. But for countless women, whose names often whisper only to the dust, this landscape was less a stage for heroism and more a silent, relentless crucible, testing the very limits of human spirit. If you seek to understand the quiet courage, the profound solitude, and the sheer, unyielding will that truly shaped this forgotten frontier, I invite you now to step closer. Let the flickering lamp beside you dim. Let the steady hum of this moment envelop you. And if you feel the pull of these untold stories, press that like button, subscribe, and share your own thoughts on the lives we are about to witness. Now, imagine opening your eyes. You wake, not to the gentle murmur of a new day, but to an insistent, almost violent sensation. A taste. It isn't the sweetness of morning dew, nor the comforting warmth of a hearth. No, this is the raw, unflinching taste of the land itself. A fine, pervasive grit that clings to your tongue, to the roof of your mouth, a perpetual, unwelcome guest. It is the dust of ages, carried on winds that have swept these plains for millennia, mingled with the faint, metallic tang of minerals deep within the earth. You try to swallow, but your throat feels like sun-baked clay, parched and unyielding, offering no relief. Every breath is a dry, rasping intake, pulling more of that invisible particulate world into your very core. This taste is a daily ritual, a silent reminder of your place, your struggle, a communion with the harsh reality that defines your existence here. It's an almost sacred burden, a testament borne on your tongue. Slowly, with an ache that resonates deep within your bones, you push yourself upright. The rough, worn fabric of your skirt scrapes against the unforgiving, hard-packed earth that serves as your bed. Your eyes, heavy-lidded and blurred from sleep and exhaustion, lift towards the nascent light. Before you, the horizon stretches, boundless and absolute, an indifferent canvas where the pale, bruised sky meets the endless, sun-baked plains. No towering mountains offer a comforting boundary. No dense forests promise shelter. Just the vast, unbroken sweep of it all, an ocean of dry grass that whispers secrets only the oldest winds remember. A profound silence presses in, a silence so immense it hums with its own ancient power, making your own existence feel impossibly small. A fleeting flicker against eternity. You are a solitary figure, a pinprick in this immeasurable canvas. And in that vast emptiness, you perceive not another person, but the immutable presence of the land itself, a silent witness to your waking, to your enduring. The sun, a burning eye, begins its slow, inexorable climb, a promise not of ease, but of another day, another cycle of grit, thirst, and the relentless, challenging sky. It is a spectacle of immense scale, and you, the quiet participant. This taste, this ever-present grit upon your tongue, is not merely dust. It is the very essence of this existence, a daily, unspoken vow of endurance. A solemn truth etched not just onto the boundless horizon, but deep into the resilient core of your spirit. To persist, to survive, one dry, weary breath at a time, under the watchful, indifferent gaze of the endless expanse. The sound begins subtly, a low, persistent lament. It isn't a human cry, but something older, deeper, a resonant groan, born of friction and burden. You feel it vibrate through the rough, wooden planks beneath you, a living tremor that becomes the steady pulse of your days, a constant, weary thrum against your very core. This is the voice of the wagon, your rolling sanctuary, your cage, your fragile vessel, carrying you deeper into the vast, indifferent heart of the wilderness. Each creak, each shudder, is a testament to the immense distances already traversed and the terrifying expanse that still awaits. It is the music of displacement, the melody of a life uprooted and set adrift. You shift, the straw beneath you rustling, offering scant comfort. Inside this canvas-covered shell, the air hangs heavy, thick with the scent of dried provisions, stale sweat, and the ever-present, pervasive dust. It coats everything: your clothes, your hair, the few precious belongings bundled beside you. Through the small opening at the rear, you glimpse the blurring trail, a faint, serpentine scar etched into the prairie, slowly fading into nothingness behind you. There is no turning back. The rhythm of the oxen pulling relentlessly forward, the distant crack of the whip, the occasional jingle of harness chains. These are the only certainties in a world that offers nothing but ceaseless, unpredictable movement. Around you, the other forms in the dim light of the wagon are silent, hunched figures, each lost in their own landscape of thought. A child, nestled against your leg, whimpers softly in their sleep, a tiny, fragile sound swallowed by the immensity outside. You feel the constant jostle, the violent lurches as wheels find hidden ruts, throwing you against the hard walls. With each jolt, a silent prayer forms, a desperate hope that nothing will break, nothing will fail, that this fragile contraption will hold together for just one more day, one more mile. Outside, the sun, a relentless eye, beats down, baking the earth, shimmering on the distant horizon, promising only more of the same arduous journey. You peer out, past the canvas flap, to the endless, undulating sea of grass, stretching to meet a sky that seems to mock your smallness. There, in that boundless expanse, lies the promise, a word whispered in campfires and prayers, a concept so ethereal it feels more like a mirage. But with that promise comes the profound weight of the unknown, an unseen force pressing down, heavier than any physical burden. It is the fear of thirst, of sickness, of broken axles, of the emptiness that could swallow you whole. You carry the hope of a new beginning, yes, but also the silent dread of what must be given up, what will inevitably be lost, sacrificed to this relentless push westward. Every mile covered is a further severance from the world you knew, a deeper dive into a future shaped only by raw will and unrelenting nature. This journey is not just a passage across land. It is a profound unraveling, a slow, deliberate shedding of comfort, of certainty, leaving only the stark, enduring core of who you are, suspended between a life left behind and a destiny yet to be forged. You are not just moving across the plains. You are moving into the very heart of sacrifice. You feel it before you see it, a tiny, searing spear of pain. It has driven itself deep beneath the calloused skin of your palm, a constant, sharp reminder of the task at hand. You press your thumb against the wound. A thin bead of crimson slowly wells up, mixing with the grime that clings to your skin. Your hands, once soft, now bear the unmistakable marks of endless labor. Rough, reddened, nails broken and rimmed with earth. This small, insistent agony is not new. It is a familiar companion, a testament to the daily struggle of turning raw wilderness into something resembling home. But even as the pain pulses, another sensation rises, a profound, ancient aroma filling your lungs. It is the scent of fresh-cut timber, a sharp, clean fragrance of pine and sap, of living wood torn from its roots. It speaks of vitality, sacrifice, and creation. You stand amidst the wreckage of a forest, now transformed into a chaos of felled trunks and splintered branches. The air is thick with sawdust, glistening like golden motes in the slanting sunlight that filters through the remaining trees. You lift your gaze, watching figures shadowy and determined swing axes with rhythmic, powerful grace. Each strike echoes with a dull, resonant thud, vibrating through the ground beneath your worn boots, a sound of both destruction and genesis. You see muscles strain, sweat tracing paths through grimy faces, focused intensity in their eyes. No smiles, no idle chatter, only grim, relentless dedication. You pick up another rough-hewn log, its weight immense, its bark abrasive against your protesting hands. You heave, your back screaming, breath coming in ragged gasps. Every fiber of your being rebels against the endless exertion, yet you push on. A silent understanding, a shared burden, binds you to these others. You are building more than walls. You are building a defense against winter, a fragile bastion against the vast indifferent wild. The work is brutal, relentless. Yet, in the rhythmic swing of the axe, the powerful smell of the timber, the feel of the splinter digging into your flesh, there is a strange, almost sacred power. This is the offering, the exchange, your sweat, your pain, your very strength, given to the land. In hope of shelter, you carve out an existence, not with words or grand plans, but with raw, physical effort, your body, an extension of the tools you wield. As the sun begins its slow descent, painting the sky in fiery hues, you look upon the growing skeleton of your new home. Crude, raw, yet it stands, a testament to unwavering will, a silent prayer shaped in wood, offered to the vast, mysterious silence of the frontier. This is not just a structure, it is a declaration, a deep and unyielding belief carved from the very heart of the wilderness. The sound itself is a presence, an unseen entity that threads its way into the very marrow of your bones. It is the wind, yes, but not a clean, sweeping rush. No, this is a whisper, elongated and resonant, a spectral moan that insinuates itself through the smallest imperfections, the tiniest gaps in the crude log walls that are meant to shelter you. It is a persistent lament, a sigh of the vast, indifferent wilderness finding its way inside, mocking your meager defenses. You feel its cold, searching tendrils on your exposed skin, a chilling caress that promises only deeper, more profound cold to come. You trace the path of the sound with your weary gaze, in the dim, flickering light cast by the single tallow candle. There, between two uneven logs, where the chinking of mud and straw has crumbled away, you see it. A thin, almost invisible fissure, a dark slit against the rough-hewn timber. Through this minuscule opening, the outside world intrudes. You perceive not just the cold air, but a faint shimmering glimpse of true darkness beyond, a terrifying, boundless void, punctuated by the almost imperceptible movement of dry leaves, or perhaps the first flakes of an early snow. This breach, this fragile vulnerability, feels less like a flaw in construction and more like a wound, an exposed nerve of your precarious existence. You reach out, your fingers calloused and stiff, to press against the draft. It offers no resistance, only an unwavering, persistent current that chills your fingertips. The cold is a living thing, an ancient adversary, and through this small gash in your wall it breathes its frigid breath upon you. You huddle closer to the inadequate fire, its warmth a cruel, fleeting comfort against the encroaching chill. The children, sleeping fitfully nearby, stir, murmuring in their dreams, oblivious to the spectral visitor that watches and waits just beyond your temporary sanctuary. This whispering wind is more than just air in motion. It is a reminder of the frontier's immutable power, a solemn voice speaking of the sacrifices demanded. It tells of the stark reality that your every breath, your every moment of warmth, is a battle, a small victory against an unyielding force. You are a solitary sentinel, guarding a fragile light against an overwhelming dark. There is no crowd here to witness this unfolding sacrifice, only the raw, elemental forces and your own enduring spirit. As the wind's mournful sigh continues, you understand that survival here is not just about building walls, but about the unceasing vigilance required to defend them, to defend the very spark of life within, against the vast, patient hunger of the wilderness. It is a test of spirit, of faith, a profound challenge whispered into the heart of your meager shelter, a testament to the unyielding will to live, even as the world beyond attempts to reclaim you. It begins as a dry tickle, a minor irritation at the back of your throat. But swiftly, relentlessly, it morphs into a burning constriction, a desperate, clawing emptiness that consumes your entire being. Your tongue feels swollen, a rough, sandpapered slab against the roof of your mouth, making speech impossible, even if there were words left to utter. Every breath feels like drawing fire into your lungs, and your lips are cracked, bleeding miniatures of the parched earth you stand upon. This is the profound elemental agony of thirst, an unyielding predator stalking you in the relentless glare of the sun. You clutch the nearly empty canteens, their lightness, a cruel mockery. The last few drops, warm and metallic, are measured out with agonizing precision. You lift a small tin cup, watching the precious liquid shimmer, reflecting the harsh light. A child, their eyes wide and pleading, watches your every movement, their small hand reaching out instinctively. You pour a meager amount, just enough to moisten their lips, their tiny gulp a testament to profound need. Then, to your own, you raise the cup, the meager offering sliding down your burning throat. But instead of the cool, life-giving surge you crave, a different sensation explodes on your palate, a taste, bitter, acrid, an almost caustic flavor that seems to scour the remaining moisture from your mouth. It is the unmistakable, vile taste of alkali, a poison disguised as salvation. The water, painstakingly found, hauled from a brackish stream or shallow sun-baked well, is not merely unrefreshing. It actively saps your strength, tightening the knot of desperation in your gut. Your stomach clenches in protest, a wave of nausea washing over you, threatening to undo the meager intake. You choke back the bile, the knowledge that this is all you have, all you might find. A crushing weight in the silence. Around you, the other women, their faces etched with the same grim understanding, share your plight. You see the subtle shudder, the involuntary grimace, as they too taste the bitter truth. Their eyes, sunken and shadowed, meet yours, not in complaint, but in a shared reverence for the terrible sacrifice this journey demands. There is a deep, primal fear in this moment, the fear of a world that offers water yet denies succor. The sun, a malevolent god, beats down from an immense, indifferent sky, baking the landscape, intensifying your suffering. You perceive the dust devils dancing mockingly in the distance, swirling phantoms of what you seek, of what you endlessly crave. This relentless thirst, this bitter taste, becomes an intimate understanding of the earth's indifference, a profound lesson in humility. You are not simply enduring. You are offering a daily, silent sacrifice of your own physical being, giving away comfort, ease, and even the simple pleasure of pure water. It is a terrifying, awesome realization of the raw, unyielding power of the wilderness, and your own fragile, yet persistent, will to survive its most fundamental challenge, to push forward, even when the very essence of life turns to ash on your tongue. The sun beats down with an almost physical malice, a relentless, burning eye in the vast, indifferent sky. It presses against your skull, a heavy, unseen hand, drawing every drop of moisture from your skin. The air shimmers, distorting the endless plain before you into a rippling, liquid mirage. Each step you take on the baked earth sends up a plume of fine, gritty dust, which you feel coating the inside of your nose, drying your already parched throat. Your worn boots scuff against the unyielding ground, each movement a conscious act of will, driven by a deep, aching necessity. You move as part of a silent, straggling procession. The other women, their faces etched with lines of exhaustion and desperation, mirror your own grim determination. Their gazes, like yours, are fixed on the distant, elusive horizon, seeking any sign, any faint promise of relief. There, in that overwhelming expanse of bleached earth and withered sagebrush, a subtle shift catches your eye. A hint of darker green. A slight depression that might, just might, conceal something precious. An unspoken current passes through the group, a spark of almost fearful hope that ignites a new, fragile strength in your aching limbs. The distance stretches, an eternity under the relentless sun. Every muscle protests, every bone cries out for rest, yet you push forward, drawn by that sliver of possibility. The dry, brittle stalks of the prairie grass whip against your skirt, their rustling sound like 1,000 hushed whispers, a chorus of despair and endurance. The air grows thick with the scent of hot dust and dry vegetation, clinging to you, suffocating. You stumble, almost fall. But another woman, her hand rough and calloused, steadies your arm without a word, her eyes conveying a shared understanding of this profound ordeal. Finally, after what feels like an endless journey through purgatory, you reach the depression. It is not the clear flowing river of your dreams, nor even a shimmering pond. No, it is far more humble, far more fragile. A shallow hollow in the cracked earth, where, from beneath a jutting, sun-bleached rock, a minuscule trickle of water oozes forth. It is barely a stream, more a reluctant tear from the earth itself, slowly weeping onto the parched ground. The water is murky, almost indistinguishable from the mud, but it is water. You drop to your knees, the impact jarring your weary bones. Others follow suit, a circle of silent, humbled figures. With trembling hands, you produce a small, dented tin cup. Slowly, with an almost religious reverence, you begin to collect the precious liquid. Each drop that enters the cup is a victory, a profound offering accepted by your desperate need. It is an act of immense patience, of unyielding will, painstakingly extracting life from a grudging world. In this moment, the fear is immense, the fear that it might stop, that it might be tainted, that it will not be enough. Yet, in the careful, measured sound of water filling the cup, there is also an awful, profound awe. This is the raw, unadorned sacrifice of the frontier, to walk through fire, to taste the dust, and to find, in the most desolate of places, a single, miraculous drop of hope. It is a testament to the unyielding belief that life, no matter how meager, can persist, even in the face of such monumental indifference. The rough, cool earth presses against your bare palm, a constant, grounding sensation that roots you to this vast, indifferent land. Your gaze, honed by endless days of stark necessity, sweeps the desiccated ground, searching, always searching. The air itself is a dry, hushed sigh, carrying the faint, metallic tang of dust and the distant, unseen wildness that perpetually hovers at the edges of your perception. Then, subtly, profoundly, a different aroma reaches you. It is sharp, earthy, almost medicinal, a primal fragrance that speaks of hidden life, of remedies coaxed from the very heart of the wilderness. You know this scent. It is the promise of solace, of healing, a fleeting hope in a world designed for hardship. You kneel, the coarse fabric of your skirt rustling softly against the brittle stalks of the prairie. Your eyes fall upon a cluster of leaves, unassuming in their muted green, yet holding an immense power, a sacred secret. This plant, humble in form, yet potent in its essence, is a profound offering from the earth itself. To discover it now, in this moment of pressing need, feels less like an accident, and more like an ancient blessing, a whisper of mercy. To miss it, to overlook its quiet presence, could mean a silent, slow despair. You reach out, your fingers, roughened and scarred, moving with a careful reverence that borders on ritual. There is no lightness in this act, only a deep, solemn understanding of its vital significance. This is a hunt, yes, but not for flesh and blood. You are a seeker, a quiet predator of plants, coaxing sustenance, protection, and healing from the often reluctant soil. Every wild herb, every root, every berry gleaned from the hard, unforgiving ground is a testament to the unyielding necessity of life, to the constant battle waged against oblivion. You are a silent hunter, a keeper of ancient knowledge, a seeker of green miracles in a world that so often offers only dust, thirst, and the stark promise of cold. As you carefully pluck the fragile leaves, placing them gently into a worn cloth bag, you offer a prayer. It is a prayer not of spoken words, but of profound gratitude, a deep, trembling plea, and an unspoken fear. Gratitude for the earth's quiet bounty, for the wisdom passed down through generations of women, for the fragile continuation of breath within your community, and a profound fear that this small harvest might not be enough, that the illness will not yield, that the winter will inevitably claim its own. Your gaze sweeps the vast, silent expanse around you, a wilderness that neither gives nor takes without profound consequence. The sun, a distant golden witness, casts long, stretching shadows that dance like reaching hands across the plains. There is an awful beauty in this moment, a sacred intimacy between your desperate need and the earth's slow, reluctant provision. The wilderness offers its gifts, demanding in return a constant, humble vigilance, a recognition of your place within its terrible, beautiful order. This is a communion, a fragile, solemn exchange, the offering of your spirit for the earth's slow, reluctant mercy, a profound and quiet sacrifice unfolding in the vast, indifferent silence. The taste is a profound, unyielding dullness, a ceaseless, grainy blandness that seems to scour any memory of true flavor from your tongue. You chew slowly, each mouthful of coarse gruel, each fibrous piece of dry, salted meat, exactly as it was yesterday, and the day before, and the day before that. It is sustenance, yes, a necessary offering to the gnawing emptiness in your stomach, but it offers no comfort, no joy. The texture is rough, unyielding, a constant reminder of the scarcity that defines your days. The smell of the cooking fire, heavy with smoke, and the faint aroma of what little food there is, hangs in the air, a constant, low-level presence that is more oppressive than inviting. Your hands, calloused and sore, cradle the tin plate, its contents meager yet essential. You divide a sliver of dried potato, a precious, shriveled remnant, amongst the small, expectant faces gathered around the flickering, inadequate fire. Their eyes, wide and luminous in the dim light, watch your every movement with an intensity that borders on reverence, a silent plea for just a bit more. There are no complaints, no demands, only a profound, unspoken understanding of the gravity of this moment, this ritual of survival. And as you swallow, forcing down the uninspiring meal, your mind drifts, a rebellion of the spirit against the tyranny of necessity. You remember. You remember the crisp snap of a ripe apple, the surprising burst of sweet juice on your tongue, the warm, comforting scent of fresh-baked bread, golden and soft, sweetened with honey. A ghost of pleasure, so vibrant it almost brings tears, a vivid, aching memory of a world where food was not merely fuel, but a source of delight, a symbol of abundance. That sweetness, that forgotten luxury, now feels like a distant dream, an echo from another life. You glance around the small circle. Other faces, gaunt and weary, chew with the same mechanical rhythm, their expressions a testament to stoic endurance. A mother gently wipes a child's mouth, her gaze conveying a deep, protective love, a quiet desperation. The silence is profound, broken only by the crackle of the fire, the soft sounds of eating, and the distant, mournful sigh of the wind. This daily ritual, this meager sustenance, is a solemn offering, a profound and fearful act. Each bite is a gamble, a prayer against the looming specter of hunger, a silent, unwavering commitment to life itself. This memory of sweetness, so sharp against the dull reality, becomes a silent testament to the human need for more than just mere survival. It is a longing for joy, for abundance, for beauty, even in the face of such stark and unyielding necessity. In this humble act of eating, before the silent, gathered crowd of your family, you perceive the true sacrifice, the surrender of pleasure, the acceptance of hardship, a profound and terrifying reverence for the life that persists, even when nourished by so little. It is an awe-inspiring, fearful glimpse into the immense strength of the human spirit, continuously reborn, one dry, tasteless bite at a time. The sound tears through the stillness, a raw, ancient utterance that bypasses your ears and vibrates directly in your chest. It is not merely a cry of pain, but a deep, guttural lament, a primal song of creation and agony. You feel it in the soles of your feet, vibrating up through the rough floorboards of the small, cramped cabin. The air hangs thick, heavy with the metallic tang of blood, the sharp scent of sweat, and an almost palpable aura of profound, desperate effort. You stand witness, a silent sentinel in the dim, flickering light cast by a single, sputtering tallow lamp, its small flame dancing with the shadows on the mud-chinked walls. You watch, transfixed, as the midwife's hands move with an almost mystical certainty. They are gnarled, scarred, the fingers thick with the memory of countless labors. These are not soft, delicate hands. They are instruments of strength, of purpose, of ancient knowing. You see the deep lines etched into her skin, testimony to a life lived in arduous service to this most fundamental mystery. She offers no words, only a steady, unwavering presence, her gaze fixed with fierce concentration on the woman straining before her. There is a deep reverence in her movements, a sacred duty unfolding in the harsh reality of this desolate place. You perceive the unyielding resolve in her eyes, a silent promise to wrestle life from the grip of the unknown. The woman on the crude bed, her face a mask of raw suffering, writhes, her body a battlefield where life and death wage their most elemental war. Another scream, more piercing this time, escapes her lips, echoing off the low ceiling, filling the space with its terrible power. You perceive the taut muscles, the involuntary tremors, the absolute surrender of her being to this immense, overwhelming force. Her strength, her very essence, is being drawn out, a profound offering made at the precipice of existence. You instinctively clench your own hands, feeling the phantom pains, the deep ancestral memory of what it means to stand at this threshold, to face this immense, terrifying tide of creation. Then, a shift. A low, powerful groan replaces the scream. The midwife leans closer, her own breath held, her concentration absolute. You feel a tremor pass through the room, a collective holding of breath, a shared fear amongst the few gathered women. There is a profound silence, an awful tension that stretches, unbearable, until a new sound. A fragile, wavering cry, thin, yet undeniably potent, cuts through the oppressive air. It is the voice of new life, a sacred melody woven from pain and triumph. You look upon the midwife's face, etched with profound relief and a weary reverence, her calloused hands now cradling the minuscule, squalling form. In this stark, unadorned cabin, before a small, silent crowd of anxious women, a miracle has unfolded, purchased at the highest cost. This is the truth of the frontier, a terrible, awe-inspiring sacrifice of body and spirit, forever imprinted on the very fabric of existence, a testament to life's relentless, astonishing persistence in the face of absolute wilderness, a constant, humbling awe at the cycle of creation and loss. A cry. So fragile, so piercing, it seems to shatter the heavy silence that had clung to the small cabin like a shroud. It is a reedy, insistent lament, an impossibly small sound, yet it vibrates with an ancient, untamed power, a declaration of existence that feels both miraculous and terrifying. You feel it deep within you, a resonant hum that stirs something primal, something profoundly human, in the core of your being. This sound, so delicate yet so insistent, is the voice of the absolute newest life, breaking into a world that knows little mercy. And with it, a scent rises, thick and primal, overwhelming the lingering odors of sweat and fear. It is the raw, clean smell of fresh blood, of amniotic fluid, of something profoundly new and vulnerable. It fills your lungs, asserting itself as the very essence of life, potent and unmistakable, a fragrance that speaks of beginnings, of the wild, messy miracle of creation. This is the scent of the threshold, the very boundary where the unknown relinquishes its hold and life takes its first, gasping breath. You lean closer, peering through the dim, flickering light cast by the sputtering tallow lamp. There, cradled in the midwife's worn, capable hands, is the source of this profound sound, this potent scent, a tiny form, slick with the remnants of its journey, skin still mottled, eyes squeezed shut against this harsh new world. Its minuscule fists clench and unclench in a furious, instinctive struggle, a testament to its raw will to live. You perceive the fragile perfection of tiny fingers, the delicate curve of its skull, the impossible vulnerability of this new soul. The mother, her face still etched with the recent agony, watches, her exhaustion momentarily forgotten, replaced by a fierce, awestruck gaze. Her breath comes in ragged gasps, a silent offering of her very life force, an immense sacrifice that has just unfolded. Around you, the other women, their faces shadowed and weary, shift, a collective sigh escaping their lips. There is no jubilation, in the traditional sense, no overt cries of joy. Instead, a solemn reverence fills the small space, a deep, shared understanding of the immense cost, the profound sacrifice that has just transpired. Their eyes, meeting yours, hold a complex tapestry of emotions, the awe of witness, the relief of safe passage, and a pervasive, chilling fear for this fragile spark of life in a world so quick to extinguish it. You perceive the truth. This is not just a birth. It is an unwritten covenant, a terrible, beautiful wager placed against the immense indifference of the frontier. This fragile cry, this potent scent, is a profound mystery, a testament to life's relentless push, its absolute determination to bloom, even in the most desolate soil. And as you gaze upon the newest, most vulnerable member of your precarious world, you feel the weight of this fragile hope, this profound demand for protection and perseverance. It is a sacred offering, a tiny, beating heart in the vast, unforgiving silence, a constant, humbling testament to the enduring, terrifying cycle of existence on this untamed edge of the world. The wind, a furious, unseen entity, howls its relentless lament. It is not merely cold, it is a biting elemental force, clawing at the flimsy walls of your cabin, seeking any purchase, any weakness to exploit. You feel its icy tendrils seeping through every crack, every imperfection, a constant, chilling reminder of the vast, unforgiving wilderness pressing in from all sides. The sound is a low, mournful drone, punctuated by sudden, violent gusts that rattle the small single window pane. It is the breath of winter, a primordial roar that speaks of immense power, of life held precariously at bay. You huddle closer to the meager fire, its flickering warmth, a deceptive comfort against the omnipresent chill. Your fingers, stiff and aching, rub against your arms, trying to coax some sensation back into the numbed skin. Every movement is an effort, every breath visible as a small cloud in the frigid air. You hear the faint, insistent creak of the logs in the walls, straining against the wind's assault, a silent testament to the fragile barrier separating you from absolute oblivion. Your gaze is drawn to the window, a small, square portal into the heart of the storm. It is not clear glass, but a sheet of ancient, imperfect panes, now etched with a delicate, terrifying artistry. Frost, thick and crystalline, coats the surface, forming intricate patterns like frozen ferns or ghostly trees. And then, a sound. A sharp, distinct crack, like a rifle shot in the profound silence of your solitude. You flinch, your heart leaping into your throat. A fine, hairline fissure snakes across the ice, a jagged scar marring the frosted landscape. It is not the glass itself cracking, but the very ice, a subtle yet terrifying sign of the intense cold, an unseen force attempting to reclaim its domain. You instinctively reach out, your fingers pressing against the icy pane, feeling the profound, aching cold radiating from its surface. The children, bundled in their rough blankets, stir in their sleep, their small breaths even and shallow, unaware of the silent battle being waged for their very warmth. The wind outside shrieks again, a triumphant cry, as if in response to the crack. You perceive the truth. The cabin is not merely a shelter, it is a battleground. Every log, every chink, every fragile pane of glass, a sentinel against an enemy that knows no fatigue, no mercy. This biting wind, this cracking ice, is a profound mystery, a stark revelation of the frontier's immense, terrifying power. You are not just enduring winter, you are witnessing a slow, relentless sacrifice unfolding before your very eyes. Your comfort, your safety, your very existence are offerings laid upon the altar of this untamed land. It is an awe-inspiring, fearful acknowledgement of human vulnerability, a constant, humbling reminder that even the strongest will can be tested, relentlessly, by the sheer, unyielding force of nature. To survive here is not a right. It is a hard-won, profound act of reverence, a testament to an unyielding spirit in the face of absolute, chilling power. The world outside has gone profoundly, terrifyingly silent. The furious howl of the wind, the biting sting that gnawed at your flimsy walls, has receded, replaced now by an immense, suffocating stillness. It is a silence so absolute it feels less like an absence of sound and more like a heavy, enveloping presence, pressing in on all sides, stifling breath, absorbing every small creak within the cabin. You feel it in the deep, resonant quiet that thrums in your ears, a peculiar sense of being buried, cut off, suspended in a boundless, frozen void. You move to the small window, its glass now entirely obscured not by frost, but by a thick, seamless blanket of white. The light that filters through is muted, diffused, an ethereal, otherworldly glow that paints the rough-hewn interior in shades of bruised gray. It is a light that blurs the boundaries of time, making morning indistinguishable from afternoon, day indistinguishable from day before. You press your forehead against the cold pane, feeling the immense, unwavering pressure of the snow-laden world outside. There is no horizon now, no distant landmark, only a featureless, pristine expanse that seems to stretch into an infinite, silent oblivion. The air inside, though warmer than the glacial world beyond, is heavy, laden with the scent of wood smoke, drying herbs, and the inescapable presence of bodies confined. You watch the small, contained movements of your family, the child meticulously arranging pebbles on the dirt floor, their quiet murmurs lost in the profound stillness, your partner sharpening a tool with slow, deliberate strokes, his gaze distant, unfocused. No words are exchanged, for what words could adequately describe this endless, internal landscape? Each task, each small interaction, becomes imbued with a heightened, almost ritualistic significance, a profound act of endurance. Days stretch into weeks, marked only by the dwindling stores, the slow burn of precious fuel, and the subtle, internal shift within your own mind. The weight of endless days indoors presses down, a crushing burden on your spirit. You perceive the delicate line between solitude and true loneliness, a chasm that yawns ever wider with each passing, silent hour. The monotony, the relentless sameness, becomes a different kind of sacrifice, an offering of your own vibrant internal world to the unyielding demands of this profound isolation. This silent snowfall, this boundless confinement, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to winter's immense, patient power, its ability to strip away all external distractions, leaving only the stark, unadorned truth of your existence. In the small, flickering light of the cabin, before the silent, gathered crowd of your few companions, you perceive a different kind of sacrifice unfolding. The slow, deliberate surrender of the soul's boundless horizon to the finite confines of a world held captive by ice and snow. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying revelation of the human spirit's profound capacity for resilience, or for quiet, internal despair, in the face of nature's most overwhelming, patient embrace. You are not just surviving, you are enduring, held in the cold, silent crucible of the winter's immense, mysterious power. The heat radiates, not from a flame, but from beneath your own hand. Your palm, calloused and rough from endless labor, presses gently against a forehead that burns with an unnatural, terrifying intensity. It is a fever, a consuming fire raging within, stealing the life force from the small, fragile body beneath your touch. You feel the rapid, shallow pulse thrumming beneath thin skin, a frantic drumbeat against the profound silence of the cabin. This raw, elemental heat is a stark, undeniable presence, a testament to the invisible war being waged within. And beneath the pervasive scent of wood smoke and damp earth, a different aroma wafts, faint yet persistent. It is the sharp, earthy tang of poultices, of crushed herbs and damp cloths, a medicinal scent that speaks of desperate remedies and ancient wisdom coaxed from the wilderness. You have spent hours, days, meticulously gathering these plants, crushing them, boiling them, molding them into crude dressings. Each step was a prayer, a desperate gamble against an unseen enemy, a silent offering of your own strength and knowledge against the encroaching darkness. In the dim light cast by the flickering lamp, you watch the child's restless form, their breathing labored, their small body twitching with unseen torment. You perceive the tautness of their tiny muscles, the unsettling sheen of sweat on their brow, the profound vulnerability of life hanging in the balance. There is no doctor here, no apothecary, only the knowledge passed down from mother to daughter, whispered secrets of the earth's reluctant healing powers. You are the sole sentinel, the guardian against a foe that offers no quarter. You gently wipe the child's brow with a cool, damp rag, feeling the fire briefly recede, only to surge again, relentless and terrifying. Around you the shadows in the small cabin stretch and dance, taking on spectral forms, mimicking the unseen forces at play. Your partner, a silent, stoic figure, sits hunched by the hearth, his gaze fixed on the dying embers, his helplessness a tangible weight in the room. You see the fear in his eyes, a mirroring of your own, unspoken dread. The air hangs heavy with anticipation, a profound tension that makes every breath a conscious effort. You perceive the fragility of existence in this desolate place, the constant dance between life and oblivion, where even the smallest spark of illness can ignite into an inferno. This burning brow, this faint scent of poultices is a profound mystery, a stark revelation of the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power. It is a sacrifice unfolding, not on an altar of stone, but on the crude bed of your cabin, purchased with the agonizing prayers of a mother, the ancient wisdom of nature, and the sheer, unyielding will to fight for every breath. It is an awe-inspiring, fearful acknowledgement of human vulnerability, a constant, humbling reminder that even the deepest love can only offer its tireless strength against the vast, patient hunger of the wilderness. To endure here is not a choice. It is a profound act of reverence, a testament to an unyielding spirit in the face of absolute, chilling power. The ticking of time itself becomes a palpable entity, a slow, agonizing drumbeat in the profound silence of the cabin. Each moment stretches, an eternity, marked only by the shallow, struggling breaths of the child beside you. You sit, hunched and weary, your hands still resting on their burning brow, The heat, a constant, terrifying presence against your palm. The air hangs heavy, thick with the scent of sickness, of despair, and the lingering, earthy aroma of the foraged poultices. You are a helpless sentinel, bound by the unyielding grip of circumstance, with no power to command the invisible battle raging within this small, fragile body. Your gaze drifts from the child's restless form to the tiny vial cradled in your other hand. It contains the essence of the foraged cure, a dark, viscous liquid, painstakingly extracted from the root of a plant found in the most secluded, unforgiving corners of the wild. Every step of its creation was a silent plea, a desperate gamble against the encroaching darkness. You perceive the truth of your situation. This small, crude vial holds not just medicine, but the accumulated hope, the profound fear, and the sheer, unyielding will of a mother. There is no doctor here, no pharmacist, only your own raw intuition and the whispers of ancient knowledge. You glance towards your partner, a silent, stoic figure, hunched in the shadows by the hearth. His eyes, rimmed with sleeplessness, meet yours across the dim space. No words are needed. In his gaze you read the mirrored helplessness, the profound, unspoken terror that binds you both. He offers a slight, almost imperceptible nod, a silent affirmation, a shared act of reverence for the terrible choice that now rests in your hands. You are standing at a precipice, a moment of profound, sacred offering, with no certainty of salvation. With trembling hands, you lift the child's head, supporting their listless form against your shoulder. The warmth of their skin, the labored sighs, are a constant, agonizing reminder of their fragility. You bring the vial to their lips, the strong, bitter scent of the cure filling your nostrils. It is an unpleasant aroma, a taste you instinctively know will be harsh, but it is a necessary bitterness, a final, desperate act of faith. You watch as a few drops, slowly, reluctantly, pass their lips, the child's small body twitching in protest. You perceive the profound resistance, the inherent struggle of life, against whatever unseen enemy assails it. As the child stirs, a low moan escaping their throat, you lay them gently back down, pulling the rough blanket tighter around them. You retreat to your vigil, the weight of the moment pressing down with immense force. The stillness returns, broken only by the child's shallow breathing and the distant, mournful sigh of the wind outside. In this profoundly quiet cabin, before the silent, gathered crowd of your small, anxious family, a sacrifice has been made. A mother's desperate hope, offered in a bitter draught, a terrifying, awesome gamble against the encroaching shadow. This helpless watch, this hope in a foraged cure, is a profound mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation of the raw, unadorned strength required to face the most fundamental challenges of existence. To persist in the face of such overwhelming odds, to gamble everything on a fragile hope, is a constant, humbling act of reverence. It is an awe-inspiring, fearful glimpse into the unyielding spirit that defines life on this untamed edge of the world, where every breath is a victory, every dawn a miracle, and every small act of love a profound and sacred sacrifice. The silence is not merely an absence of sound. It is a profound, deafening weight that presses in from all sides, a tangible presence that seems to absorb all light and warmth. You feel it in the deep, resonant stillness that thrums in your ears, a constant, low hum that is more unnerving than any noise. The vast, empty plains outside, stretching to meet the bruised, indifferent sky, offer no rustle of leaves, no distant murmur of human life. Only this immense, unbroken quiet. It seeps into your very bones, a chilling reminder of your solitary place in this boundless, untamed world. You sit, hands idle in your lap, the rough fabric of your dress, a familiar scrape against your skin. Your gaze, unfocused and distant, drifts across the small, confined space of your cabin. The few, worn objects, a tin cup, a patched blanket, a wooden spoon, seem imbued with an almost sacred stillness, mirroring the profound quiet. There is no urgency here, no immediate demand for action, only the endless, unyielding expanse of time itself. Without the familiar clamor of village life, the distant shouts of neighbors, the comforting drone of many voices, your own thoughts begin to echo, too loud, too clear, in the cavern of your mind. The weary wanderings begin subtly, a ghost of a memory, a fragment of a song. Then, a deeper current pulls you under. You revisit conversations long past, tracing the contours of forgotten faces, listening to the cadence of voices that now exist only in the archives of your mind. There is a profound, aching beauty in these internal pilgrimages, but also a crushing sadness, a painful awareness of the immense distance that separates you from those echoes. You try to conjure new thoughts, to imagine futures, to build landscapes in your head, but the raw, unyielding reality of the endless plains outside presses in, asserting its singular, dominant truth. The boundaries between yesterday and today, between hope and resignation, begin to blur, dissolving into a monotonous, featureless expanse. You push yourself to rise, a small, futile rebellion against the mental stagnation. You move to the window, pressing your hand against the cold pane. Outside, the land is vast, pristine, yet utterly devoid of human connection. It stares back, an empty canvas reflecting your own internal void. There is no other soul to witness this silent struggle, no sympathetic eye to meet yours. You perceive the truth. The real sacrifice here is not merely physical labor, not just the loss of comfort, but the slow, deliberate erosion of the spirit, the profound, isolating loneliness that settles deep within the marrow of your being. This deafening silence, this mind's weary wandering, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation of the raw, unadorned strength required to face the most fundamental challenges of existence. In this vast, indifferent wilderness, before the silent, gathered crowd of your own inescapable thoughts and the watchful, unblinking eye of nature, a new kind of sacrifice unfolds, the offering of your own vibrant internal world to the unyielding demands of profound isolation. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human spirit's capacity for endurance, or for silent, internal unraveling, in the face of nature's most overwhelming, patient embrace. To persist here is to continually offer yourself to this immense, quiet crucible, a constant, humbling act of reverence for the very spark of your own lonely consciousness. The profound cold of the night air strikes your face, sharp and clean, a welcome jolt against the stagnant warmth of the cabin. It carries the scent of frozen earth and the immense, clean emptiness of the vast plains, a fragrance so pure it seems to cleanse your very lungs. You step outside, driven by an unnamed longing, a silent protest against the suffocating quiet within your meager walls. The rough, worn door creaks shut behind you, a soft punctuation mark in the monumental stillness. Your eyes lift, drawn upward, and the world above you unfurls in a breathtaking, terrifying display. The sky is a vast, inky canvas, stretched taut and limitless, ablaze with a million distant suns. Each star, a tiny, piercing jewel, glitters with an intensity unseen in the cluttered skies of the world you left behind. This is not merely a scattering of lights. It is a cosmic ocean, profound in its depth, overwhelming in its scale, dwarfing every earthly concern, every human sorrow. You feel impossibly small, a mere speck beneath this indifferent, dazzling expanse. Yet, in this overwhelming smallness, a different sensation begins to stir. The initial fear, the cold grip of insignificance, slowly recedes, replaced by a strange, almost sacred awe. You pick out a single star, brighter than the rest, a distant, unwavering beacon. You imagine its light, traveling across unimaginable gulfs of time and space, reaching you now, a silent messenger from an ancient past. This connection, wordless and profound, transcends the immediate, the pressing, the often cruel realities of your isolated existence. You stand there, a solitary figure under the vast dome of the heavens, and something within you hardens, clarifies. This solitude, once a source of deep, internal ache, now reveals a different face. It is not just an absence, but a crucible, forging a strength you never knew you possessed. It is a strength born of reliance on self, on the deep, quiet rhythm of your own enduring heart, illuminated by the distant, impartial light of the cosmos. You are alone, yes, but you are not truly disconnected. You are woven into something far grander, far more enduring than any earthly community. You perceive not a crowd, but humanity itself, stretching across time and space, each soul, somewhere, under their own vast, mysterious sky, finding their own distant star. This connection is not spoken, not touched, but felt, a profound, almost spiritual communion with the endless, silent crowd of existence. The freezing air continues to bite, but you barely notice. This strength of solitude, this comfort of a distant star, is a profound mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that even in absolute isolation, the human spirit can find a connection that transcends all earthly bounds. In this desolate expanse, beneath the unblinking gaze of the universe, a new kind of sacrifice unfolds. The offering of your immediate, tactile connections for a deeper, more profound communion with the vast, patient cosmos. It is an awe-inspiring, fearful glimpse into the human heart's capacity to find not just endurance, but an almost sacred reverence in the face of nature's most overwhelming, silent, and eternally watchful embrace. The crunch of footsteps on frozen earth, distinct and clear, cuts through the omnipresent silence, a sound so utterly unexpected it causes a jolt, a sudden tightening in your chest. It is a human sound, an alien melody in the vast, empty symphony of the plains, a stark contrast to the mournful sigh of the wind, or the distant cries of unseen creatures. You feel a tremor pass through you, a mixture of apprehension and a profound, almost fearful hope. This is a rare occurrence, a visitation in a world defined by its desolate distances. You look up from your solitary task, your gaze sweeping towards the faint, undulating horizon. And there, against the pale, bruised sky, a figure emerges. Small, indistinct at first, then slowly solidifying into the unmistakable form of another human being. Another woman. Her silhouette, wrapped in rough, dark fabric, moves with a familiar, weary determination, a testament to the immense distance she has undoubtedly traversed. You perceive the truth of her journey in her posture, in the slow, deliberate pace of her steps. The sight itself is a mystery, a fleeting apparition in a world that offers so little in the way of human companionship. As she draws closer, the air begins to thicken, no longer just with the scent of wood smoke and dried earth, but with something richer, more profound, the promise of shared warmth. You motion towards the open door of your cabin, a silent invitation, and she responds with a slight, almost imperceptible nod, her eyes meeting yours with a deep, weary understanding. There are no exuberant greetings, no effusive words. Such luxuries are rare, conserved like precious fuel. Instead, a silent communion passes between you, a profound recognition of shared hardship, of mutual endurance. You stoke the fire, coaxing new life from the embers, and the cabin, small and crude, feels suddenly expansive, filled with a new, fragile energy. You bring out what meager provisions you have, laying them on the rough-hewn table. A small portion of dried meat, a few shriveled berries, a tin of lukewarm water. She produces her own offerings, a handful of foraged nuts, a sliver of hard cheese. Together, you prepare the meal, the simple act imbued with a sacred reverence, a profound ritual of connection. As you eat, seated across from each other, the silence is not empty, but full. It is a silence woven with unspoken stories, with the weight of countless solitary days, with the desperate hope for what lies ahead. You watch her hands, rough and scarred, as she breaks a piece of bread, her movements mirroring your own. You perceive the truth. This shared meal is more than just sustenance. It is a profound offering, a sacrifice of precious resources for the sake of companionship, a defiant stand against the encroaching loneliness. This rare sight of a neighbor, this warmth of a shared meal, is a profound mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power to isolate, but also to its astonishing capacity to forge unexpected bonds. In this small, flickering light, before the silent, gathered crowd of two weary souls, a new kind of sacrifice unfolds, the offering of your cherished solitude for the profound, fearful comfort of human connection. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for resilience, and for an almost sacred reverence for the fleeting, precious moments of shared existence on this untamed edge of the world. The air in the small cabin, once thick with the scent of wood smoke and quiet desperation, now hums with a different energy. It's not a loud, boisterous sound, but a low, steady current of murmured voices, a soft exchange that seems to fill every corner of the confined space. You hear the cadence of another woman's voice, slow and deliberate, weaving a narrative of her own arduous journey, of unexpected challenges and narrow escapes. Her words are not mere sounds, they are offerings, precious fragments of shared human experience, carefully laid out in the flickering light of the hearth. You sit across from her, your own hands clasped in your lap, listening with an intensity that borders on reverence. Every detail, every pause, every sigh is absorbed. For these stories are not just tales, they are lifelines, threads connecting you to a world beyond your isolated existence. You perceive the subtle shifts in her expression, the faint lines around her eyes deepening with unspoken sorrow, the slight upward curve of her lips as she recounts a small, hard-won victory. Her gaze meets yours, and in that shared glance, a profound understanding passes between you, a silent acknowledgement of trials endured and resilience found. Then, you begin to speak. Your own voice, unused to such sustained conversation, feels rough at first, a little hesitant, but soon it finds its rhythm. You describe the endless horizon, the taste of grit, the bone-aching cold of winter, the quiet terror of illness. As you recount your struggles, you watch her head nod, almost imperceptibly, her eyes reflecting a recognition that transcends mere words. This exchange of stories is a profound ritual, a reciprocal act of sharing burdens, of making visible the invisible sacrifices that define each day on this untamed edge of the world. It is a testament to the immense power of narrative, a force that builds bridges across vast, desolate distances. Later, as the hour grows late and the shadows lengthen, a small gesture, her hand, rough and calloused, reaches out, gently covering yours for a fleeting moment. The touch is brief, almost imperceptible, yet it resonates deep within you, a warmth that is not of the fire, but of something far more essential. It is the touch of kinship, of shared humanity, a powerful reminder that, even in the most profound solitude, you are not entirely alone. This fleeting connection, so simple, yet so profound, offers a strange, almost terrifying comfort, for it highlights the depth of the isolation it momentarily dispels. This exchange of stories, this fleeting touch of kinship, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power to isolate, but also to its astonishing capacity to reveal the enduring human need for connection. In this small, flickering light, before the silent, gathered crowd of two weary souls, a powerful sacrifice unfolds. The offering of your cherished internal world, your fears and your triumphs, for the sake of communion. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for profound vulnerability, and for an almost sacred reverence for the precious, ephemeral moments of shared existence on this untamed edge of the world. The air crackles with an unfamiliar tension, a subtle shift in the very fabric of the vast, open space around you. It isn't a sound, not yet, but a premonition, a profound awareness of an approaching presence that sets your nerves on edge. The familiar sense of dry earth and sagebrush seem to sharpen, imbued with a new, almost metallic tang, an ancient warning. You feel a prickle on your skin, an instinctual response to something profoundly unknown, yet undeniably close. Then, the sound. A voice, yes, but its cadence is alien, its rhythms unlike any you have ever heard. It is a language of clicks and guttural tones, of soaring inflections and sudden sharp stops. The words themselves are meaningless, a cascade of foreign sounds that fall upon your ears like stones, leaving no purchase, no understanding. You perceive the truth of it. This is a barrier, an invisible wall between worlds, as vast and unyielding as the plains themselves. This unfamiliar tongue is a declaration, a stark reminder of the immense, untamed diversity that inhabits this land. You stand, unmoving, your breath held, your gaze fixed. Across a silent, invisible divide, another figure stands, equally still. Not a man of your own kind, nor a woman with familiar features. Their clothing is of hide and feather, their posture erect, their presence commanding. And their eyes. They meet yours across the immense distance, not in anger, not in fear, but with a profound, unblinking intensity. It is a silent stare, ancient and unreadable, that seems to penetrate beyond your skin, beyond your fears, into the very core of your being. This is not just a glance. It is a profound observation, an assessment, a quiet judgment. You perceive the subtle movement of other figures, emerging from the tall grass, from behind outcrops of rock. A silent crowd, materializing from the landscape itself. Their eyes, like those of their leader, hold that same unyielding, silent intensity. You feel the weight of their collective gaze, a presence so powerful it seems to press down upon you, making your own breath catch in your throat. There are no gestures, no overt threats, only this profound, unnerving stillness, this silent, unwavering observation across the divide. The sun, a burning eye in the vast sky, casts long, stark shadows, lengthening the distance between you, emphasizing the profound chasm of understanding. This unfamiliar tongue, this silent stare across the divide, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that even in the absence of explicit violence, a confrontation can be as consuming as any battle. It is a sacrifice unfolding not with blood, but with the quiet surrender of your assumptions, your sense of familiarity, your very certainty of belonging. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the raw, unadorned power of the unknown, and a humbling reminder that on this untamed edge of the world, existence is a constant, watchful negotiation, a silent, reverent acknowledgement of other, ancient claims. The air, once electric with silent tension, now carries a new, almost ceremonial rhythm. It is the soft rustle of cloth, the low clink of metal against wood, the muted thud of offerings placed carefully upon the dry earth. These are the sounds of barter, an ancient dance of exchange, performed with a solemn grace that transcends spoken language. You feel the cool breeze on your exposed skin, a constant reminder of the vast, open space in which this fragile negotiation unfolds. And with it, a primal aroma begins to permeate the air. It is the lingering scent of wood smoke, deep and earthy, clinging to the hides and clothing of the people before you. But it is more than just smoke. It is a fragrance imbued with the essence of their campfires, their history, their very way of life. It speaks of ancient traditions, of warmth in a cold world, of a continuity that predates your own arrival. This scent is a silent declaration, a cultural signature carried on the wind, a profound and undeniable presence that subtly alters the very atmosphere around you. You watch, your gaze unwavering, as a man from the other side of the divide extends a tanned hide, its texture supple and rich, a testament to skilled hands. In return, your partner carefully places a small, polished metal axe head onto the ground between you. No words are exchanged, only gestures, a slow nod, a direct, searching look, an almost imperceptible tilt of the head. You perceive the immense weight of this transaction, far beyond the material value of the items. It is an exchange of trust, a fragile, unspoken covenant forged in the vast silence of the frontier. The crowd around you, both your own small family and the silent, watchful figures from the indigenous group, observe with an intense, reverent stillness. Each movement, each subtle shift in posture, holds profound meaning, a silent language understood by instinct alone. Your hands, calloused and rough, reach out to inspect the hide, feeling its texture, assessing its warmth. A woman from the other group watches you, her eyes dark and keen, reflecting an ancient wisdom. You offer a small, almost imperceptible smile, a gesture of respect, and she returns it, a fleeting, almost ghost-like acknowledgement. In that moment, a fragile bridge is built across the chasm of language and culture, a shared understanding of the mutual need that compels these interactions. The sun, a distant, golden eye, begins its slow descent, casting long, dramatic shadows that dance and intertwine on the earth between the two groups. There is a deep, palpable tension, a profound awareness of the precarious balance of this encounter. Yet, in the careful, measured movements, in the silent, watchful gazes, there is also an awful, inspiring reverence. This barter of goods, this lingering scent of smoke, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that even across chasms of difference, humanity seeks connection, exchange, a way to persist. It is a sacrifice unfolding not with blood, but with the quiet surrender of your assumptions, your sense of absolute ownership, your very certainty of belonging to a solitary world. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the raw, unadorned power of mutual respect, and a humbling reminder that on this untamed edge of the world, existence is a constant, watchful negotiation, a silent, reverent acknowledgement of other, ancient claims, held within the vast, patient embrace of the land itself. The feeling is an inescapable second skin, a constant, abrasive presence that clings to you from dawn till dusk. It is the grit, fine and insidious, carried by the prairie winds driven into every pore beneath every nail, a perpetual reminder of the earth you walk upon, the earth that claims you. You feel it on your face, stiffening your skin, and in the rough fabric of your clothes, making them chafing and uncomfortable. A deep, pervasive uncleanliness settles upon you, a burden carried not just on your body, but subtly in your spirit. The scent of dry dust, mingled with stale sweat, becomes a familiar, almost oppressive perfume of your existence. You stand before the rough wooden basin, your hands, calloused and stained, reaching for the water. Not a river, not a gushing well, but a single, dented bucket. Its contents are murky, already used perhaps for cooking, then for a quick rinse of a plate, now holding the last, precious measure for scrubbing. You perceive the truth of this water. It is a gift, painstakingly hauled from a distant trickle, warmed painstakingly over a dwindling fire, each drop imbued with immense value. This is not water for drinking, not for life-sustaining thirst, but for the profound, almost luxurious act of cleaning. This small bucket, more than gold, is a sacred vessel. With a reverence that borders on ritual, you dip a coarse rag into the tepid water. The cold, slightly slimy feel of the water against your fingers is a stark contrast to the gritty dryness of your skin. You begin to scrub, slowly, deliberately. You feel the immediate resistance of the ingrained dirt, the persistent dust. Your muscles ache with the effort, each swipe of the cloth a conscious battle against the accumulated grime. A child, small and silent, watches you from the corner of the cabin, their wide eyes mirroring your own solemn focus. Your partner, a shadowy figure by the hearth, offers no words, only a shared understanding of this quiet, profound act. The water turns darker with each pass, absorbing the layers of dust and toil, transforming from merely precious liquid to a murky testament of your efforts. You feel the grit loosening, reluctantly giving way, leaving behind a subtle, almost forgotten sensation of cleaner skin beneath. It is not perfect, will never be perfect here, but it is enough. A small, hard-won victory. The air around you, momentarily refreshed by the steam and the damp cloth, carries a fleeting, almost ethereal scent of clean linen, a ghost of a memory of a different world. This gritty skin, this precious bucket of scrubbing water, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that cleanliness itself becomes a luxury, a profound sacrifice. In this humble act, before the silent crowd of your family and the vast, indifferent wilderness outside, you perceive the offering, the meticulous use of scarce resources for a small, fleeting measure of dignity. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for resilience and for an almost sacred reverence for the basic acts of self-care, a defiant stand against the encroaching wildness, a constant, humbling act of persistence. The air, heavy with the scent of damp wool and ingrained dust, begins to shift, pierced now by a sharp, almost biting aroma. It is the raw, potent smell of lye soap, a harsh, uncompromising fragrance that speaks of chemical transformation, of stubborn grime yielding to determined effort. You feel its sting on your raw, chapped hands as you plunge them into the scalding, sudsy water, a pain that is both a penance and a promise. This smell is a declaration of battle, a silent testament to the relentless fight against the encroaching dirt of the wild. You lean over the heavy wooden tub, your back aching with the familiar strain. Before you, a mountain of soiled linens, each piece a collection of the week's toil, its fibers stiff with sweat, dust, and the subtle, inescapable odors of survival. You plunge a rough spun shirt into the steaming water, feeling the coarse fabric yield beneath your hands. You pick up the hard, uneven bar of lye soap, its surface abrasive, and rub it vigorously against the cloth, watching as the pale suds begin to foam, a fragile, ephemeral promise of cleanliness. Each scrub is a deliberate, forceful act, a rhythmic motion that consumes your focus. You perceive the stubborn dirt clinging to the fabric, deeply embedded, resisting your efforts. Your knuckles are raw, your fingers pruny and aching, yet you persist. The steam rises, clouding your vision, mingling with the sharp scent of the lye, creating an almost ritualistic haze around your labor. A child, silent and watchful, plays nearby on the dirt floor, their quiet presence a constant, profound reminder of why this arduous task is so utterly essential, so fiercely necessary. As you wring out a piece, the water that pours from it is dark, murky, a testament to the filth that has been purged. Then, another plunge into rinse water, another twist, and finally, a new sight, a piece of linen, pale and fresh, miraculously reborn. You feel the subtle difference in its texture, the renewed softness, the faint, clean scent that now replaces the harsh lye. It is a transformation, small yet profound, a victory hard won against the unrelenting forces of the wild. You carry the basket of wet laundry outside, into the biting cold air, where you hang each piece on a rough-hewn line, watching as the wind snaps at the fabric, eager to dry and purify it further. This scent of lye soap, this small victory of clean linen, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power to reduce life to its most fundamental elements, where even basic cleanliness becomes a monumental undertaking. In this humble act of washing, before the silent, watchful crowd of your family and the vast, indifferent wilderness, you perceive a profound sacrifice, the endless physical labor, the raw, aching hands, all offered for a fleeting measure of order, of dignity, of hope. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for resilience and for an almost sacred reverence for the everyday rituals that anchor life on this untamed edge of the world, a constant, humbling act of persistence against the encroaching chaos. The thin fabric, worn almost translucent, yields beneath your fingertips with a subtle, sorrowful sigh. It is not a tear, not yet, but a vast, threadbare patch, a ghost of its former self, stretching precariously thin. You feel the cool draft of the cabin air seep through its almost non-existent weave, a physical manifestation of vulnerability. This is more than just cloth. It is a precious shield against the biting cold, against the sharp edges of a relentless world, and its impending failure weighs heavy in your hands. A silent testament to endless wear and a profound scarcity. The scent of dry dust and old linen hangs in the air, a familiar aroma of hard-worn necessity. In the dim, flickering light of the single tallow lamp, you thread a fine, worn needle, its eye a minuscule portal to another world. Your fingers, calloused and stiff from rough labor, move with a practiced, almost ritualistic precision. This is the art of mending, an ancient craft, tedious and relentless, but imbued with a sacred purpose. Each stitch, a tiny act of defiance against entropy, a small victory wrestled from the grasp of decay. You smooth the thin cloth, assessing the damage, planning the repair. A small scrap of fabric, salvaged from a garment long past its prime, is chosen with careful deliberation. Its color may not match, its weave may be different, but its purpose is singular: to extend, to protect, to preserve. You perceive the truth of this act. It is not about beauty or fashion, but about survival. About stretching every resource, defying every tear, denying every surrender to the elements. You begin to stitch, the needle a tiny rhythmic whisper against the rough fabric. Each puncture, each pull of the thread, is a silent prayer against ruin, a desperate act of hope against the inevitable. Around you the cabin is quiet, filled only with the soft sounds of your labor and the distant, mournful sigh of the wind. A child, curled in sleep nearby, shifts, their small form a constant reminder of the precious lives this patched fabric protects. Your partner, a shadowy figure, watches from the hearth, his gaze steady, an unspoken acknowledgement of the silent, relentless work that keeps this fragile world intact. You perceive the immense dignity in this humble task, the profound strength of will required to continually repair, to continually resist, to continually persevere. This threadbare patch, this tedious art of mending, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that sustenance extends beyond food and water into the very fabric of daily life. In this humble act of repair, before the silent crowd of your family and the vast, indifferent wilderness outside, you perceive the offering, the endless patience, the painstaking effort, the profound sacrifice of time and comfort, all given for the sake of endurance. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for resilience and for an almost sacred reverence for the small, repeated acts that sustain life on this untamed edge of the world, a constant, humbling defiance against the inevitable unraveling. The rough mended fabric warms beneath your hands, no longer a symbol of imminent failure, but of quiet triumph. You feel the subtle texture of the patch, its edges firm and secure, a testament to countless tiny, painstaking efforts. It is not pretty, perhaps, not seamless, but it holds. This sensation of practical durability, of a garment given new life, brings a deep, unexpected comfort, a profound solace in a world that offers little in the way of soft assurances. The air around you, once heavy with the dread of a looming tear, now breathes with the quiet pride of renewed purpose. You hold the garment up, turning it slowly in the dim light of the cabin. Each stitch, each line of thread now tells a story. Here, a darker patch over a seam strained by a particularly brutal day of hauling wood. There, a delicate, almost invisible repair where a child's energetic play tore through the fabric. You perceive these marks not as flaws, but as chapters, vignettes of a life lived, of challenges met and overcome. This garment is more than just clothing. It is a tapestry of endurance, a silent chronicle of the relentless demands of the frontier and the unyielding will to meet them. Your fingers trace the contours of the mended spot, feeling the subtle raised lines of the thread. You remember the cold that threatened to penetrate, the wind that sought to unravel, the sharp edges of tasks that tried to rend apart what little protection you possessed. And you remember the moments of quiet focus, the rhythmic rhythm of the needle, a silent meditation against the vast, indifferent wilderness outside. This act of mending is not merely manual labor. It is a profound act of care, an investment of time and spirit into the very survival of your family, of your own existence. Around you, the cabin remains quiet, filled only with the soft sounds of the hearth and the gentle breathing of sleeping children. Your partner, a silent witness, watches you from the shadows, his gaze holding an understanding that needs no words. You perceive the truth of this small, shared victory. It is a collective triumph, a testament to the interwoven lives that rely on each stitch, each repair, each small act of perseverance. The patched garment, now ready to face another day, another season, becomes a symbol of continuity, of defiance in the face of decay. This comfort of practicality, this story in every stitch, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that beauty and value are not found in newness, but in resilience, in the history etched into every mended surface. In this humble act of holding a patched garment before the silent crowd of your family and the vast indifferent wilderness outside, you perceive the offering. The endless patience, the deep wisdom, the profound sacrifice of ease for the sake of endurance. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for resilience and for an almost sacred reverence for the everyday objects that stand as silent witnesses to a life hard won, a constant, humbling defiance against the inevitable unraveling, a story woven into the very fabric of existence itself. The worn, rough paper crinkles softly beneath your fingertips, a dry, hushed sound that is almost swallowed by the immense silence of the cabin. It is an old book, its cover faded, its pages brittle, a precious relic salvaged from a world that now feels impossibly distant, almost mythical. You feel the faint imprint of previous hands, of countless readings, a ghost of touch across the years. This book is more than just paper and ink. It is a portal, a fragile bridge across the vast, lonely chasm of time and space, a testament to enduring thoughts. The air around you, thick with the scent of wood smoke and dried herbs, seems to thin, to shimmer as you open the book. From its pages, a subtle ethereal fragrance rises, the ghost of old libraries, of pressed flowers, of forgotten perfumes. It is the scent of a world far away, a whisper of civilization, of lives lived amidst comforts and connections you can now only vaguely recall. You lean closer to the sputtering tallow lamp, its small flame casting dancing shadows that bring the words on the page to life. Your eyes, weary from endless toil and the stark, unbroken horizons, trace the familiar lines of text. These are not practical instructions for survival, no ledger of supplies, but stories. Tales of grand adventures, of sweeping romances, of bustling cities and serene gardens. Each word, each carefully crafted sentence becomes a whisper in your mind, a delicate voice speaking of places you may never see again, of lives you might have led. You perceive the truth of this moment. It is a rebellion, a defiant act against the crushing monotony of your days, a quiet assertion of the mind's boundless freedom. You lose yourself in the narrative, the harsh reality of the cabin, the distant howl of the wind, fading into the background. You are transported, a silent observer in a world of lush descriptions and vivid characters. The children, sleeping fitfully nearby, are oblivious to your silent journey. Your partner, a shadowy figure by the hearth, glances at you, his gaze understanding, a recognition of this necessary, solitary escape. He knows the profound sacrifice, the internal hunger for beauty and connection that cannot be fed by mere sustenance. This crinkled book, these whispers of a world far away, are a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that not all hunger is for food, not all thirst is for water. In this humble act of reading, before the silent crowd of your family and the vast, indifferent wilderness outside, you perceive the offering, the precious, dwindling light, the strained eyes, the precious moments stolen from endless labor, all given for the sake of the spirit's survival, for the nourishment of the internal landscape. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for resilience, and for an almost sacred reverence for the intangible, for the whispers of a world far away that remind you of what it truly means to be human, even on this untamed edge of existence. The rough, worn page feels like a precious parchment beneath your calloused fingers. It's a page from that same old book, but not one of sweeping tales. No, this page holds the faint, faded script of an alphabet, simple numbers, the very building blocks of knowledge. You feel the ghost of a pencil mark, a child's tentative tracing, a profound, almost sacred touch across the brittle paper. This is more than just a lesson. It is a spark, a fragile ember of ambition carefully nurtured in the vast, silent darkness of the frontier. The air around you, thick with the scent of wood smoke and dried earth, seems to hold its breath. You glance at the small, earnest face beside you, illuminated by the flickering tallow lamp. A child, their brow furrowed in concentration, their small hand clutching a stub of a pencil. You perceive the immense effort in their posture, the quiet determination in their eyes as they struggle with a letter, a number. Their small, whispered attempt at a sound is a profound melody in the cavernous silence of the cabin, a delicate song of future possibilities. This is the truth of this moment. It is a defiance against the crushing weight of physical labor, a rebellion against the constant demands of mere survival. It is an act of creation, of planting a seed in unforgiving soil. You lean closer, your voice soft, patient, guiding their unsteady hand. The words you speak are not commands, but incantations, unlocking a world far beyond the crude log walls, far beyond the endless plains. You trace the shape of the letter again and again, feeling the hesitant pressure of their fingers. You perceive the immense importance of this ritual, the profound weight of this shared moment. This is your legacy, your silent offering to the future, a desperate hope that this child will know a life less brutal, less confined than your own. Around you, the cabin is quiet. Your partner, a shadowy figure by the hearth, watches you both, his gaze steady, understanding. He knows the sacrifice, the stolen hours from sleep, the precious fuel burned for this glimmer of light. the painful knowledge that this small education might be the only inheritance you can provide. But he also knows the profound value of this ambition, this fierce, unyielding hope for something more. You perceive the truth. The real audience, the silent crowd before whom this sacrifice unfolds, is not merely your family, but the generations yet to come, the unseen future to whom this fragile seed of knowledge is offered. This spark of ambition, this hope for a child's education, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that not all enduring is merely physical. In this humble act of teaching, before the watchful eyes of your child, and the vast, indifferent wilderness outside, you perceive the offering, the profound longing for a better future, the agonizing awareness of limitations, the boundless love that fuels such an immense and quiet sacrifice. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for resilience, and for an almost sacred reverence for the intangible, for the potential held within a child's tentative grasp. A constant, humbling act of planting hope in the most desolate of soils. The sound, thin at first, then rising, swelling, tears through the profound silence of the night. It is a howl, long and mournful, carrying on the icy wind, a primeval cry that scrapes against your very soul. You feel it in the deep, resonant tremor that vibrates through the rough wooden floorboards beneath your bare feet, a direct link to the untamed, predatory world outside. This is not merely an animal cry. It is the voice of the wilderness itself, a declaration of hunger, of proximity, of an unseen threat. The air, already cold, seems to chill further, laced now with the sharp, metallic tang of primal fear. You sit upright, instantly awake, every nerve alert. Your hand, calloused from endless labor, instinctively reaches out, finding the smooth, cold wood of the rifle stock. You grip it tightly, feeling the familiar weight, the solid reassurance of its presence. It is a crude tool, perhaps, but in this moment it is your only tangible link to defense, your only promise of protection against the lurking shadows. The worn grain of the wood presses against your palm, an almost sacred connection to a tool forged for a singular, brutal purpose. From the corners of the small, dark cabin, the soft, even breathing of your sleeping children reaches you. Their innocence, their vulnerability, is a palpable weight in the oppressive stillness. You perceive the truth of your vigilance. It is not for your own life that your heart pounds, but for theirs. This heavy weapon, clutched tight, is a desperate offering, a profound sacrifice of peace and rest for the sake of their fragile dreaming existence. Another howl, closer this time, more insistent, rips through the night, sending a fresh tremor of ice through your veins. Your partner, a shadowy form beside you, stirs. His hand, equally rough, finds yours, a silent acknowledgement of the shared terror, the mutual responsibility. No words are exchanged. None are needed. In the profound darkness, illuminated only by the faint, diffused moonlight filtering through the icy window pane, you both become silent sentinels, two figures united against an unseen enemy. You perceive the outlines of the cold, unyielding walls of your cabin, a fragile bastion against the vast, hungry maw of the night. This distant howl, this tight grip on a rifle stock, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that even in the quietest moments, existence is a constant, watchful negotiation with primal forces. In this deep, oppressive night, before the silent, gathered crowd of your sleeping family and the vast, indifferent wilderness, a sacrifice unfolds. The constant vigilance, the profound fear, the willingness to take a life, to protect a life. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for fierce, unyielding protection, and for an almost sacred reverence for the precarious spark of life itself, held against the relentless, predatory darkness of the untamed world. A cold, sharp current, invisible yet utterly visceral, surges through your veins. It isn't the outer chill of the cabin, but an internal fire, a raw, primal energy that electrifies every nerve ending. You feel your heart hammering against your ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the profound silence, demanding attention, demanding action. Your senses sharpen, every faint creak of the logs, every distant whisper of the wind, amplified, imbued with a new, terrifying significance. This is adrenaline, a desperate, ancient response, awakening the hunter, the protector, within you. The air around you, thick with the scent of wood smoke and old fear, seems to crackle with an unseen force. You sit absolutely still, the rifle stock pressed against your shoulder, its cold metal, a grounding presence against your rapidly beating heart. Your eyes, wide and unblinking, strain against the oppressive darkness, scanning every shadow, searching for any subtle shift in the diffused light from the icy window. Every muscle in your body is coiled, ready to spring, yet held in an agonizing stasis. You perceive the truth of this moment. It is a vigil, a silent, unwavering watch kept against the vast, hungry maw of the night. Time itself seems to stretch and distort, each minute an hour, each hour an eternity. Beside you, your partner remains equally still, a silent, unmoving pillar in the darkness. You feel his presence, a tangible force of shared determination, a silent acknowledgement of the terrifying unknown that lurks just beyond the fragile walls. No words pass between you, none are needed. In this profound silence your minds meet, two sentinels united in a common, desperate cause. You listen, not just with your ears, but with every fiber of your being, for any sound that might betray the lurking predator, any rustle that might signal an advance. The distant howls have faded, replaced now by an even more unnerving silence, a profound stillness that feels heavy, expectant. It is the silence of a predator, patient and unseen, testing the strength of your defenses, waiting for a lapse, a moment of weakness. You perceive the full weight of this silent battle, the immense mental and emotional cost of this unending vigilance. It is a sacrifice of sleep, of peace, of the very comfort of security. The children, still lost in their dreams, are oblivious to the silent war being waged for their safety, their innocent breaths, a fragile counterpoint to the thrumming tension. This adrenaline surge, this silent vigil through the night, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that even in moments of apparent calm, the threat is omnipresent, demanding an unending offering of self. In this deep, oppressive darkness, before the silent, gathered crowd of your small, vulnerable family and the vast, indifferent wilderness, a sacrifice unfolds. The conscious surrender of comfort, the relentless battle against weariness, the unyielding commitment to protection. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for fierce, unyielding love, and for an almost sacred reverence for the precarious spark of life itself, held against the relentless, predatory darkness of the untamed world. The sound tears through the profound, unyielding silence of the crisp morning, brutal and rhythmic. It is the dull thud of steel striking frozen earth, a jarring, inescapable punctuation mark in the vast emptiness. You feel the tremor of each blow vibrate through the soles of your worn boots, traveling up your legs, a visceral connection to the arduous, heartbreaking task unfolding before you. The air, sharp and clean, carries the acrid scent of newly disturbed soil, a primal aroma of cold clay and buried rock, an ancient perfume of finality. This is the earth, speaking, demanding its due. You watch, your breath a visible cloud in the frigid air, as your partner swings the shovel. His movements are slow, deliberate, each stroke heavy with a sorrow that words cannot contain. The frozen ground resists, yielding grudgingly, exhaling plumes of dust and small shards of ice with every impact. You perceive the immense effort etched on his face, the taut muscles in his back, the sheer physical cost of this profound labor. His hands, gnarled and raw, grip the handle with an almost sacred tenacity, as if by sheer will he could alter the unalterable. Beside you, a small, bundled form rests on a makeshift stretcher, shrouded in a thin, worn blanket. It is impossibly still, a profound absence that vibrates with its own terrible weight. Your gaze falls upon the rough wooden cross leaning against a nearby rock, stark and unadorned, waiting to mark this desolate spot. The few other faces gathered, those of a neighbor, an older child, are etched with the same grim understanding, the same silent internal scream. No tears fall freely. The cold perhaps has frozen them in place, or perhaps the well of sorrow has simply run dry. There is a deep reverence in their stillness, a collective, unspoken prayer for the soul now returning to the very dust from which it came. The earth, hard and unyielding, slowly opens, a dark maw in the vast, bleached landscape. You perceive its immense patient power, its unwavering claim over all that lives and breathes. It is a terrifying, awesome realization that despite all the struggle, all the enduring, the land ultimately prevails, accepting its offerings with an indifferent grace. The heavy silence is broken only by the rhythmic thud of the shovel, each impact a step closer to the inevitable. This earth's cold embrace, this sound of a shovel's thud, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that every life, no matter how hard won, will eventually make its final sacrifice to the soil. In this desolate expanse, before the silent, gathered crowd of your few loved ones and the vast, unblinking eye of nature, a profound offering unfolds, the surrender of flesh to earth, a painful, humbling acknowledgement of mortality. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for grief, for acceptance, and for an almost sacred reverence for the enduring cycle of life and loss, held within the vast, patient embrace of the untamed world. The last, dull thud of the shovel reverberates, not in your ears, but deep within the hollow of your chest. It is a final, heavy punctuation mark in the profound silence that has descended, thick and absolute, upon the desolate landscape. You feel the cold, sharp wind whipping at your exposed skin, a chilling caress that seems to strip away even the warmth of your grief, leaving you stark and vulnerable. The air, heavy with the scent of damp, newly turned earth, becomes a constant, tangible reminder of the profound, unyielding space that has just been created and filled. You stand before the small, raw mound, a fresh scar upon the vast, indifferent plain. It is impossibly small, yet it holds an immense weight, a gravity that anchors you to this desolate spot. Your eyes, dry and aching from unshed tears, fix on the crude wooden cross, its silhouette stark against the pale, bruised sky. It is a humble marker, a silent testament to a life lived, now returned to the very dust from which it sprang. You perceive the truth. The loved one is gone, irrevocably woven into the cold, patient embrace of this land. A small hand, cold and trembling, finds yours. It is a child, their face streaked with tears, their small body shaking with a sorrow too immense for their young frame. You squeeze their hand, offering a silent, unwavering anchor against the overwhelming tide of grief. Your partner stands beside you, a silent, stoic figure, his gaze fixed on the earth, his shoulders slumped with a burden that mirrors your own. No words are exchanged. None are needed. In this profound silence, grief itself becomes a palpable entity, a shared presence that binds you together, a new, terrible member of your small, enduring crowd. Memories, sharp and vivid, flash across your mind like sudden bursts of light in the darkness. A laugh, a touch, the warmth of a smile, the cadence of a voice. They rise unbidden, a torrent of phantom sensations, each one a fresh wound, a searing reminder of the profound absence that now stretches before you, limitless as the horizon. You perceive the cruel beauty of these memories. They are both torment and treasure, a constant, agonizing connection to what has been lost. The cold earth beneath your feet seems to pull at you, demanding acceptance, demanding surrender. The sun, a distant, indifferent eye, begins its slow climb, casting long, stretching shadows that dance across the new grave. This profound sense of loss, this enduring memory, is a fearful and awe-inspiring mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that not all sacrifices are of body and toil. Here, before the vast, unblinking sky and the silent, watchful wilderness, a new, internal sacrifice unfolds. The constant, agonizing offering of a heart to grief. A relentless battle waged to keep memory alive against the erosive march of time. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human spirit's capacity for profound sorrow, and for an almost sacred reverence for the intangible, for the love that persists, a defiant spark in the face of absolute loss, forever woven into the very fabric of who you are. The problem stares back at you, a gaping flaw in the rough-hewn bucket, a slow, insistent leak that drains precious water onto the dirt floor. It isn't a dramatic break, but a subtle, insidious erosion, a constant reminder of scarcity and the relentless nature of decay. You feel the cold, damp drip against your bare toes, a constant annoyance that speaks volumes about the challenges of merely existing here. The air, heavy with the scent of wood smoke and damp earth, seems to mock your efforts, highlighting the endless imperfections in your meager world. You run your fingers over the damaged section, the worn metal thinning, corroded by countless journeys to the distant spring. This bucket, battered and dented, is more than just a container. It is a lifeline, a vital link to the most fundamental element of survival. To lose it, to let it fail, is to face a profound and terrifying threat. You perceive the truth. There is no store to buy another, no easy replacement. Only ingenuity, only resourcefulness, only a fierce, unyielding will to make do. Your gaze sweeps across the small collection of scraps and forgotten odds and ends, a treasure trove of potential solutions. A piece of an old leather boot, dried and stiff. A fragment of tin salvaged from a discarded can. A length of twine, frayed but strong. Each item, once destined for waste, now holds a sacred promise, a possibility of renewed purpose. This is the truth of the frontier. Nothing is ever truly discarded, for even the smallest remnant holds a latent power, a future utility. You choose the tin, its edges sharp, its surface still reflecting a dull gleam. With painstaking effort you cut it, shape it, using crude tools and brute force. Your hands, already scarred and calloused, ache with the effort, but you persist, driven by an urgent necessity. You perceive the focused intensity in your own eyes, the silent battle being waged between stubborn metal and unwavering will. Your partner, a shadowy figure by the hearth, watches, his gaze steady, an unspoken acknowledgement of the importance of this quiet labor, this desperate act of creation. Then, with a final, decisive tap of a hammer, the patched tin is secured. You fill the bucket with water, holding your breath, watching with a tense, almost fearful anticipation. No leak. A slow, almost imperceptible sigh escapes your lips. It is not a roar of triumph, but a quiet, internal celebration, a hard-won victory against the endless, patient forces of breakdown. The water, now held securely, seems to shimmer with a new, deeper value, a testament to what can be achieved with little more than ingenuity and an iron will. This repurposing of scraps, this triumph of a clever fix, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power to strip away abundance, forcing an almost sacred reliance on resourcefulness. In this humble act of repair, before the silent crowd of your family and the vast, indifferent wilderness outside, you perceive the offering, the endless ingenuity, the tireless effort, the profound sacrifice of ease for the sake of endurance. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for resilience, and for an almost sacred reverence for the everyday objects that sustain life on this untamed edge of the world. A constant, humbling defiance against the inevitable decay, a story of survival etched in metal and will. The rhythm of your hands, calloused and perpetually worn, has no beginning and no end. It simply mize. You feel the persistent pull in your shoulders, the deep, resonant ache in your lower back, a constant physical hum that serves as the backdrop to every waking hour. It isn't sharp pain, not always, but a profound, unyielding weariness, a pervasive tiredness that seeps into your very bones, never truly abating. The scent of wood smoke, of drying herbs, of the ever-present dust, permeates the air, a familiar perfume of ceaseless effort. This is the truth of your days, a relentless, unbroken chain of tasks, a profound offering of your physical self to the demands of survival. You move from the churning of butter, its thick rhythmic slap a dull sound in the quiet cabin, to the kneading of dough, feeling the resilient spring of the flour beneath your strong hands. Your eyes, even as they focus on the task at hand, already scan the next challenge, the stack of mending, the perpetually hungry fire, the bucket needing to be refilled from the distant spring. There is no moment of true idleness, no space for hands to truly rest. Each completed task simply gives way to another, a seamless, unending flow of necessity. You perceive the methodical grace in your own movements, a hard-won efficiency, born of sheer repetition, and an absolute understanding of urgency. The children, their quiet play a soft murmur nearby, are oblivious to the invisible momentum that propels you. Your partner, a shadowy figure working on a tool by the hearth, offers a silent nod as your gaze meets his across the small space. He sees the effort, the sacrifice, the profound strength that flows through your actions. There are no words of complaint, no cries of despair. Such luxuries are unknown here. Instead, a deep, silent resolve settles within you, an acceptance of this unending labor as the very essence of your existence, a covenant made with the untamed land. And in this unyielding commitment, in the quiet, methodical precision of your hands, a different sensation begins to rise. It is not pride in a grand accomplishment, but a deep, internal certainty, a profound and unshakable knowledge that you are the architect of this continuity, the keeper of this fragile spark of life. You built this home, you nurtured these lives, you defied the constant threat of unraveling, all with your own hands, your own spirit. This is the triumph of self-reliance, a silent, awesome power that flows through your veins, a defiance against the vast, indifferent wilderness. You look upon the fruits of your labor, the clean, mended clothes, the rising bread, the full water pail, and you perceive the quiet, monumental victory in each. This unending labor, this profound pride in self-reliance, is a fearful and awe-inspiring mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that not all sacrifices are born of loss, but often of an unyielding commitment to existence itself. In this desolate expanse, before the silent, gathered crowd of your family and the vast, unblinking eye of nature, a new kind of offering unfolds, the boundless physical effort, the tireless spirit, all given for the sake of sustaining life, of forging a future. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for fierce, unyielding endurance, and for an almost sacred reverence for the sheer, astonishing persistence of life itself, held against the relentless, patient embrace of the untamed world. The roar is not distant, but immediate, encompassing. It is the wind, yes, but transformed, an unseen beast howling at your very doorstep, a visceral sound that shakes the foundation beneath your feet. You feel it in your teeth, a deep, resonant vibration that permeates every bone, every fiber of your being. It is a primal scream, a relentless, furious declaration of raw power, a force that seeks to strip away not just the walls, but the very notion of shelter. The air, thick with the scent of wood smoke and damp earth, seems to crackle with this immense, invisible energy. The small cabin, your fragile sanctuary, shudders. Not a gentle sway, but a deep, structural tremor that seems to tear at its very joints. You hear the straining of logs, the groaning of timbers, sounds akin to ancient bones protesting against an unbearable pressure. Dust, fine and ancient, sifts from the ceiling, a silent, almost ethereal rain, tasting of old wood and forgotten earth. You instinctively brace yourself, your hands pressing against the rough-hewn wall, feeling the immense, unwavering force attempting to rend your world asunder. Each creak, each groan, is a testament to its struggle, a profound drama unfolding in the heart of your home. Your children, their small faces pale in the dim light cast by the flickering lamp, huddle closer, their eyes wide with a fear that mirrors your own. They look to you, their small bodies trembling, seeking an assurance you can barely provide against such overwhelming might. Your partner, a shadowy figure by the sputtering hearth, adds another piece of precious wood, his gaze fixed on the dancing flames, a silent prayer for warmth against the encroaching cold. He glances at you, his eyes reflecting a shared dread, a profound understanding of the elemental battle being waged against your small bastion of life. You perceive the truth. The cabin is not merely a structure. It is a living entity, fighting for its very existence, and for yours. This is not just a storm. It is an elemental assault, a profound act of nature's awesome, terrifying power. The wind outside is a living entity, a hungry spirit, trying to reclaim what it believes is its own. You perceive the thinness of your defenses, the immense vulnerability of your human existence against such raw, untamed might. Each shudder of the house is a solemn offering, a piece of its meager strength sacrificed to repel the relentless blows. You are a silent witness to this unfolding drama, a profound, fearful reverence for the sheer, unyielding force that governs this land. It demands an offering of constant vigilance, of unwavering will, of every fiber of your collective strength. This roaring wind, this shuddering house, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate terrifying power, a revelation that even the strongest walls are but temporary defiance. In this cacophony of elemental fury, before the silent, gathered crowd of your vulnerable family and the vast, unblinking eye of nature, a primal sacrifice unfolds. The constant struggle for shelter, the boundless courage to remain rooted in an unrootable world. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for fierce, unyielding endurance, and for an almost sacred reverence for the precarious spark of life itself, held against the relentless, patient embrace of the untamed world. The ground beneath your worn boots is not merely dry. It is utterly devoid of life, a vast, scorched canvas stretching to meet the relentless, unblinking eye of the sun. You feel its intense, radiating heat through the thin leather of your shoes, a profound and omnipresent warmth that speaks of prolonged agony, of a land systematically stripped bare. The air itself is thick, heavy, carrying the acrid, metallic tang of dust, mingled with the faint, lingering ghost of smoke from distant, unseen fires. This is the scent of a world dying, a slow, agonizing surrender to the sun's dominion. You walk through what was once your garden, a small, hopeful patch of earth, meticulously tended. now a brittle wasteland. The stalks of corn, once green and vibrant, are now withered, skeletal fingers reaching towards an indifferent sky. The fragile sprouts of beans, coaxed from the grudging soil with immense effort, lie shriveled and brown, their brief life a cruel mockery of your desperate hope. You run your fingers through the dry, crumbling soil, feeling its desperate thirst, its utter lack of moisture. Each grain of dust seems to whisper of loss, of effort expended in vain. You perceive the truth. The land demands an unbearable sacrifice. Your gaze lifts to the immense cloudless sky. Day after day, week after week, it has remained a relentless, mocking blue, offering no hint of the relief you so desperately crave. You scan the horizon, searching for any subtle shift in its vast, empty expanse, any faint wisp of a cloud, any promise of a change. The stillness of the air, unbroken by even a breath of wind, is profound, oppressive. It is the silence of anticipation, of desperate longing, of a world holding its breath, waiting for a blessing that may never come. Beside you, your children move silently, their small hands instinctively clutching your skirt. Their faces, drawn and pale, reflect the same grim understanding, the same silent, profound fear. They, too, scan the empty sky, their innocence now burdened with the harsh realities of survival. Your partner, the distant figure by the parched well, stares into its depths, his posture slumped with a helplessness that needs no words. You perceive the immense weight of this shared vigil, this collective prayer offered to an indifferent heaven. The crowd is small, yet its desperate hope fills the vast, empty space around you. This scorched earth, this desperate wait for rain's blessing, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that not all battles are fought with weapons, but often with the agonizing patience of hope itself. In this desolate expanse, before the silent, watchful sky and the vast, unblinking eye of nature, a profound offering unfolds, the sacrifice of effort, of ambition, of the very hope for abundance, all given in a desperate plea for mere survival. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for fierce, unyielding endurance, and for an almost sacred reverence for the elemental forces that govern life itself, held against the relentless, patient embrace of the untamed world. The surface of your skin, once soft and yielding, is now a landscape of subtle ridges and valleys, roughened by sun, wind, and endless toil. You feel the unfamiliar texture of your own face as you run a weary hand across it, calloused cheeks, skin stretched tight, fine lines etched deep around your eyes and mouth. It isn't merely dirt that gives it this quality, but the imprint of the land itself, a physical testament to a life lived without artifice, without ease. The scent of dried dust, mingled with the faint, persistent aroma of old sweat, seems to emanate from your very pores, a natural perfume of endurance. You lift the small, tarnished piece of looking-glass, its reflective surface imperfect, distorting the edges of your reflection. It is an old mirror, salvaged perhaps from a past life, a fragile link to a world where such introspection was a daily ritual. You hold it steady, its weight familiar in your hand, and gaze into its depths. The face that stares back is your own, undeniably, yet it is also subtly alien, transformed by the crucible of the frontier. Your eyes, once perhaps bright with youthful dreams, now hold a different light. They are deep, shadowed pools, yet within them a fierce, unyielding gaze meets your own. There is no softness there, no self-pity, only a profound, almost primal determination. You perceive the truth of this gaze. It is the look of one who has seen the stark face of necessity, who has wrestled with desolation and found a strength born of the struggle. Lines radiate from the corners, not of laughter, but of countless days squinting into the blinding sun, against the tearing wind, searching the vast, indifferent horizon for any sign of hope, any flicker of threat. Your lips, once perhaps full, are now thin and set, a testament to countless hours of silence, of unspoken fears, of unyielding resolve. Around you, the cabin is quiet, filled only with the soft sounds of the hearth and the distant, mournful sigh of the wind. No one else witnesses this moment of stark self-reckoning, this solitary confrontation with the transformed self. Your partner, if he were here, would recognize it. He carries his own version of this mark. You perceive the immense dignity in this gaze, the profound strength of will that shines through the weariness, an acknowledgement of the quiet, monumental battles fought and won. This roughness of skin, this unyielding gaze in the mirror, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that not all sacrifices are of physical things, but often of the very image of self. In this humble act of looking before the silent, gathered crowd of your own internal self and the vast, indifferent wilderness outside, you perceive the offering, the surrender of youthful grace, of unmarred beauty, for the sake of an enduring, unyielding spirit. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for fierce, unyielding endurance, and for an almost sacred reverence for the profound, hard-won transformation that life on this untamed edge of the world demands. A constant, humbling act of becoming. The roughness of your hands, once a source of quiet observation, now feels different. It is not merely the texture of toil, but a profound, resonant strength that emanates from deep within your bones, a constant, unwavering hum against your very core. You feel it in the tautness of your muscles, the rootedness of your stance, a silent, internal fire that burns with an unyielding purpose. The scent of wood smoke, of resilience, of a life hard won, seems to cling to your very being, a natural perfume of endurance forged in the crucible of this vast, untamed land. You stand, no longer before a mirror, but simply within the confined space of your cabin, your gaze sweeping across the familiar, worn objects that populate your world. Each splintered log, each mended blanket, each dented tin cup now seems to reflect a part of you, a testament to shared battles and quiet victories. You perceive the truth of your transformation. The years of relentless sun, of biting wind, of aching cold, of profound solitude have not broken you. Instead, they have forged you, shaping your spirit with an elemental force, much like the very earth around you. The lines on your face, etched deep by hardship, are not scars of defeat, but a map of survival, a silent, sacred history. Your eyes, once perhaps filled with fleeting fears, now hold a different light. They are deep, knowing pools, reflecting an inner landscape of unwavering resolve. There is no longer a need for constant self-assessment. The strength is simply there, known, an inherent part of who you have become. You move through your daily tasks, each action imbued with a quiet, efficient grace. The lifting of a heavy pail, the rhythmic churn of butter, the careful tending of the dwindling fire. These are not merely chores, but rituals, performed with a profound dignity, a silent offering of your enduring will to the continuity of life. The children, in their quiet play, sometimes glance at you, their small, innocent eyes seeing not just a mother, but a steady, unyielding presence, an anchor in a world of constant flux. Your partner, a shadowy figure working silently by the hearth, often meets your gaze, and in his eyes, you read a profound understanding, a deep reverence for the unwavering strength you carry. No words are exchanged, for such a truth transcends the need for utterance. You perceive the truth. The real crowd, before whom this strength unfolds, is not just your family, but the vast, silent land itself, an ancient witness to your profound transformation. This woman, forged by fire, carrying a quiet strength, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power. A revelation that not all beauty is delicate, not all power is loud. In this humble cabin, beneath the unblinking gaze of nature, a silent sacrifice has been made. The surrender of the self you once were, for the fierce, unyielding being you have become. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for profound transformation, and for an almost sacred reverence for the enduring spirit. A constant, humbling act of becoming, etched into the very fabric of existence on this untamed edge of the world. The sound erupts, a sudden, bright burst in the profound quiet that usually fills your small, crude cabin. It is laughter. Not a gentle giggle, but a pure, unburdened peal that seems to shatter the oppressive stillness, vibrating through the rough wooden planks beneath your feet, resonating deep within your chest. You feel it less as noise and more as a jolt of raw, unexpected joy. A melody so rare it feels almost sacred, almost forbidden in this world defined by its stark, unyielding demands. The air, heavy with the scent of wood smoke, and the faint aroma of stale provisions, seems to lighten, momentarily held captive by this precious, fragile sound. You turn, drawn by its sudden, vibrant power. There, in the dim, flickering light cast by the sputtering tallow lamp, you see the source. A child, their face aglow, their small body shaking with an almost ecstatic delight. In their outstretched hand, clutched with sticky fingers, is the object of such profound happiness. A single small piece of candied fruit, perhaps a shriveled berry painstakingly preserved, or a sliver of dried apple, sweetened with a whisper of precious honey. The smell, faint yet distinct, reaches you, the undeniable sweetness, a ghost of forgotten luxury, a rare offering in a world that seldom grants such indulgences. You perceive its immense value, not just as food, but as a potent symbol, a fleeting glimpse of abundance in a landscape of scarcity. You watch as the child slowly, deliberately, brings the treat to their lips. Their small tongue darts out, tasting the concentrated sweetness, and their eyes close in pure, unadulterated bliss. It is a profound moment, a testament to the simple, overwhelming power of pleasure, untainted by the relentless realities that press in from all sides. Your own lips curve, a silent, almost involuntary response, yet a profound sense of fear mingles with the awe. Fear for such unbridled joy in a harsh world. Fear that it might be swiftly taken, that such precious moments are too fragile to endure. Your partner, a shadowy figure by the hearth, watches too, his gaze steady, a shared understanding passing between you, the unspoken knowledge of the immense sacrifice made for this single fleeting instant of happiness. This child's laughter, this sweetness of a rare treat, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that not all enduring is merely physical. In this humble cabin, before the silent, gathered crowd of your small family and the vast, indifferent wilderness, a profound offering unfolds. The arduous labor, the meticulous preservation, the conscious choice to forego your own comfort for the sake of a child's fleeting joy. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for fierce, unyielding love, and for an almost sacred reverence for the ephemeral moments of beauty and delight. A constant, humbling act of planting joy in the most desolate of soils. A defiant spark against the encroaching darkness. This rare sweetness is not just a taste, it is a vital, momentary victory for the spirit, a fuel for the relentless journey ahead. The sky begins to bleed, not with violence, but with a slow, agonizing splendor, a profound transformation of light and color that fills the entire western horizon. You feel the last, lingering warmth of the sun on your skin, a fleeting comfort against the encroaching chill of the evening. It is a spectacle of immense grandeur, a celestial offering that demands your unwavering gaze, stealing your breath with its silent, overwhelming beauty. The air, crisp and clean, carries the faint, earthy scent of the vast open plains, imbued now with a sense of reverent stillness. You stand, solitary, by the rough-hewn door of your cabin, your hands idle for a rare moment. Your eyes, accustomed to scanning for threats or necessities, are now drawn upward, held captive by the immense canvas unfolding before you. Hues of fiery orange, deep crimson, and soft violet swirl and merge, painting the clouds in impossible strokes, each transition a subtle, awe-inspiring revelation. You perceive the truth of this moment. It is a profound cosmic drama, played out daily, demanding no audience, yet offering its glory to any who pause to witness. And as the last incandescent rays stretch across the land, your gaze falls to a point near your feet. There, stubbornly pushing through the cracked dry earth, is a single wildflower. Small, delicate, its petals a vibrant, defiant blue against the muted tones of the prairie. Its scent is subtle, almost imperceptible amidst the vastness, a whisper of fragile sweetness, a testament to life's tenacious will. This humble blossom, overlooked by the sweeping grandeur above, holds its own profound beauty, its own silent strength. You reach out, your calloused finger gently tracing the delicate curve of a petal, feeling its surprising softness, its vibrant life. The children, their laughter from earlier now a distant memory, sleep soundly within the cabin. Your partner, a shadowy figure, emerges from the shadows, his presence a silent affirmation of your shared moment, your mutual reverence for this fleeting beauty. No words are exchanged. None are needed. In this profound silence, the wildflower, the sunset, the vast, indifferent land, all become one, a powerful, unspoken sermon on endurance and the relentless, astonishing persistence of life. You perceive the immense dignity in this humble blossom, its profound courage to bloom in such a desolate place. This sunset's grandeur, this simple beauty of a wildflower, is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that even in harshness, beauty persists, demanding an offering of quiet observation. In this desolate expanse, before the silent, gathered crowd of your family and the vast, unblinking eye of nature, a new kind of sacrifice unfolds. The fleeting moments of rest, the conscious pause from unending labor, all given for the sake of spiritual sustenance. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for fierce, unyielding endurance, and for an almost sacred reverence for the profound, fragile beauty that illuminates existence on this untamed edge of the world. A constant, humbling act of finding grace amidst the grit. The sound is thin, ethereal, a mournful whisper carried on the vast, indifferent wind. It is a whistle, yes, but one not born of human breath. It is the wind itself, threading its way through the skeletal remains of what was once a home, finding purchase in a cracked window pane, a broken doorframe, a gap in the rotting timber. You feel its chilling caress on your face, a subtle tremor that seems to resonate with the echoes of lives long gone. The air, heavy with the scent of dry dust and decaying wood, carries a profound sense of abandonment, a testament to dreams turned to dust. You stand at the edge of the abandoned homestead, its decrepit form a stark, unsettling monument against the endless, undulating plains. The cabin, once a symbol of hope and defiance, now sags, its roof collapsed in places, its walls leaning inward, a defeated posture against the relentless march of time and elements. You perceive the truth of its fate. It is a casualty of the frontier, a testament to the unyielding power of the wilderness to reclaim what was once wrested from its grasp. Your gaze sweeps across the remnants of a life. A rusty pail, half buried in the dry grass, a child's broken wooden toy, bleached white by the sun. The faint, almost invisible tracks of a wagon, long since vanished into the horizon. Each artifact, however humble, tells a silent story of struggle, of hope, of eventual surrender. The silence is profound, broken only by the wind's mournful whistle, a constant lament for what was, and what might have been. You walk closer, your worn boots crunching softly on the brittle earth, each step a trespass into a ghost of the past. You push open the sagging door, its protesting groan, a chilling counterpoint to the wind's whisper. Inside, the air is stagnant, heavy with the scent of decay and the lingering ghost of human presence. The few remaining objects, a broken chair, a scattering of dried leaves, seem imbued with the sadness of lives uprooted, of dreams left unfulfilled. You perceive the profound loneliness that must have settled here, growing heavier with each passing season, until it finally overwhelmed even the fiercest will. The unseen crowd of those who once lived here now exists only in the whispering wind, in the dust motes dancing in the shafts of light, in the profound silence. This faint whistle of wind through an abandoned homestead is a profound and fearful mystery. It is a testament to the frontier's ultimate, terrifying power, a revelation that not all battles are won, that not all dreams find fruition. In this desolate expanse, before the silent, gathered ghosts of former inhabitants and the vast, unblinking eye of nature, a profound offering unfolds. The sacrifice of hope, of ambition, of the very struggle itself, surrendered to the relentless, patient embrace of the wilderness. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying glimpse into the human heart's capacity for both fierce persistence and heartbreaking capitulation, a constant, humbling reminder of the immense cost of claiming a foothold on this untamed edge of the world. The rough, familiar earth beneath your feet feels different now. It is still the same unforgiving ground, yes, a vast, silent witness, but it hums with a new resonance, a subtle, profound vibration that speaks of countless footsteps, of tireless hands, of quiet battles fought and won across generations. You feel it less as a physical sensation and more as a deep, internal knowing, a communion with the enduring spirit of this land, now forever marked by human will. The air, crisp and clean, carries the scent of wild sage, but also, unmistakably, the faint, lingering perfume of resilience, of a strength woven into the very fabric of existence. You lift your gaze, sweeping across the expanse that was once utter wilderness. The crude cabin, though weathered and stoic, still stands, a testament to unyielding effort, its logs holding firm against the relentless wind. You perceive the enduring presence of the garden patch, once scorched, now perhaps showing faint, new green shoots, a quiet promise coaxed from reluctant soil. The distant horizon, still boundless, no longer feels quite so empty. It carries the ghost of 1,000 wagons, the echo of uncounted prayers, the silent strength of women who learned to read its unspoken language, who understood its profound, terrifying demands. This is the undeniable truth of the frontier, a profound sacrifice unfolding not in a single, dramatic moment, but in the relentless, quiet tapestry of daily life. You perceive the enduring spirit woven into every threadbare patch, every mended tool, every drop of precious water painstakingly drawn. It resides in the laughter of children, echoing through the solitude, in the shared glance between weary souls, in the fierce protective grip on a rifle, in the deep, silent grief for what was lost. It is a strength forged in the crucible of winter's bite, of summer's parched thirst, of profound loneliness and desperate hope. It is a legacy, not of grand monuments but of persistent breath, of unwavering will, of life defiantly lived against the immense, patient power of the wild. And as you stand here, feeling the ancient earth hum beneath your feet, you realize that this enduring spirit, this indomitable will, is not merely a memory. It is a living presence, A sacred inheritance passed down, a profound understanding of what it truly means to persist. It is an awe-inspiring, terrifying revelation that even in the face of absolute indifference, the human heart, especially that of a woman on the frontier, can carve out not just survival, but a quiet, formidable dominion. This is a lasting testament to the unconquerable spirit, held in profound reverence, against the vast, patient eternity of the untamed world, a constant, humbling act of continuing on, one solitary breath, one unwavering step at a time.